The Utah Jazz, after 80 NBA games, are officially eliminated from the playoff picture. It took 80 games for this upstart team to finally be eliminated, but the season will now come to an end on Sunday after the Jazz lose to the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're talking about it next on Postcast. David Locke along with Ron Boone as the Utah Jazz fall to the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. Final score 114-98. And the Jazz without Walker Kessler, Collin Sexton, Talen Horton-Tucker, Lauri Markkanen, and Jordan Clarkson. Really, we saw a bunch of guys game it, battle, fight, but really be stretched beyond their natural skill set. It's an interesting thing to watch, right? Like, it's a kind of an eye-opening to how great a Jordan Clarkson is that scores 20 points a game, that how great a Collin Sexton is who scored 20 points a game, how great a Lauri Markkanen is who's scoring 25. Like, Ochai Agbaji, who's been terrific and we're all huge fans of, got just stretched tonight like Plastic Man beyond where he naturally goes, and ends up shooting a low percentage, 6 of 18, tried to figure it out, 0 of 8 from 3. I don't think he got very many good looks. We watched Simone Fontecchio try to do a bunch of things. He looked overwhelmed at times in it. You watch Kelly Olynyk, who kind of probably is the one who's played the biggest basketball of anyone on the roster, does a lot of nice things. He also has 7 turnovers tonight because he's trying to play point guard. Like, it was just watching a bunch of guys get really stretched beyond kind of what their natural, rightful order of their role would be in the NBA.
And what it is, David, is that there's superstars, there's stars, and then there's NBA players. And then I think the most important part of this is your support players that coaches rely on in a situation like this to become a little bit more than an NBA player. And for the most part, they can probably get it done for a quarter, get it done for a half, but for the 48 minutes, probably not. You heard the coach for the
Mark Dagnall
talk about that before the ball game, and I think what the Jazz had out there on the floor on a number of occasions was some very good support players.
So let's take a guy like Ochai tonight because he's of immense interest. Does he learn anything tonight? If you do this to every night, I'm utterly convinced you could destroy him. But we're going to do it to him for 2 or 3 nights. Does he learn anything that helps him going forward here, or is it actually just so much that it doesn't help him the way those other nights do?
No, I think you learn something, David, if Will continues to talk with him tonight, because tonight it seemed like he was, obviously he's been working very, very hard on scoring, different ways of scoring, and that was on display. But when it's not falling, what do I do now? That type of thing. You get to the point where if you're going to be a star in this league, those adjustments that you have to make become crucial. How to get to the free throw line. Start doing things without the basketball, because most of the things when you see him do now is with the basketball in his hands.
One thing on over time, he had 0 assists again tonight. So,
That's the point I'm making
right,
there.
Yeah, at some point he has to learn that, but that's fine. Like, that's net. Simone, if he's going to be successful in this league, is probably a complimentary off-the-bench piece of your puzzle, maybe predominantly a spot-up shooter that can kind of attack a closeout. If you can't attack a closeout, I don't think you can play anymore in the NBA. Yeah. Like the old Ryan Anderson type, who used to that kind of stretch 4 that you just placed in the corner and shot threes and can't close. That guy's kind of gone from our league.
Yeah.
You're never going to ask Simone what you're asking him to do tonight. But what is your feeling on what you've seen? He's got a 25-30 game run now. What are you seeing? There's just wild inconsistency in his shot. A lot of it might be how much is being asked out of him.
I totally agree. He's totally a player that is probably so used to scoring and so used to being a jump shooter. We watched him go to the basket a couple of times tonight. That's what I would like to see more of him, and work his way back out to the three-point line. But he starts the ball game off, just really bombing away from the three-point line. And when you're not making them, I'm going to make the next one. I'm going to make the next one. And then he struggles with that. Well, it's kind of hard for me to read on or say whether or not he or how good of a support player he can be on the basketball.
You know, Will Hardy made an interesting comment about Abaji today in the pregame when I was talking to him about how if you're only got one way to score, it gets hard.
Absolutely.
And so a little bit what you're saying about Simone is he's got to find other ways other than just the shot.
Right.
And that's what they're trying with Abaji right now is these 15, 16, 17 shot nights coming in an array of different ways and manners for him to be able to learn how to do that. Tonight's hard because he's probably the primary focus on the defense as well.
Yeah.
3-point shooting tonight for the Jazz was 5 of 31, which is not a way that you can probably survive. The highlight of the night for the Jazz, and might be one of our stars, might be the zone defense. The Jazz really discombobulated the Thunder early in this game with that zone defense.
Got him back in the ball game, and it's been good. It's good, but I'm finding and I'm realizing now that sometimes they stay in it too long, and I think like Miami, I think. They don't run it all the time. I mean, they'll run it in spurts, or it might be, okay, this time we're going to run it after a made free throw or something like that. Just mix it up a little bit because I think the Jazz zone is good. And I think they get a lot out of it, but I don't think they can. I think they stay in it just a little bit too long sometimes.
Yeah, I think the different levels on this, obviously, you know, they've really been hit and miss on it. They played a lot. They're playing at 30, 40 possessions a game. It was hit for most of tonight. There have been some bad nights. There have been some 1.4, 1.5 nights where teams have against them, but they were good for most of the night tonight until you pointed out really well. The Thunder did some interesting things. Tell people what the Thunder did to attack it.
Well, I just thought, and this is the first time I've seen that, and what it looked like to me, that they just didn't put that one guy in the middle. The Jazz sometimes want to break another player, another team's zone, then they might put Markkanen in the middle of the floor. And then they'll move the basketball around just to get him the basketball and see what he can do with it, or find an open man to pass it to, which is the way most teams do it. But I thought the Thunder would run a player in there in the middle. If he didn't get the basketball, then he might clear the area, and then another player would come through. It just kept moving, and I thought it was awfully difficult to stay with that.
Well, by the end of the night, the Jazz draft position is 9th. And I think is in almost all scenarios going to stay there. But obviously something could possibly. Oh, somebody just proposed to somebody on mid-court after the game tonight. She sticks her finger out. He puts the ring on. He lifts her high in the air. She wraps her legs around him. They kiss. She must have said yes.
Well, so that's what the big crowd was waiting for. Huh?
And she's going to take a 3. He proposes. She takes a 3. It falls well short.
Well short.
Let's hope that's the only thing that fell short.
Yeah.
On that inappropriate line by me. What else we got, Ron? 2 stars?
Let me add something with the zone before they go there. I understand the Jazz working on it a lot because they want to be better at it going into next season. So it sounds like, it looks to me like this is something that has been successful, and they want to continue to work on it. And then it's also something that will be part of their defensive strategy going on.
I think that's everything that we've seen here. Everything we've seen has been in that scope. A lot of us have gotten caught up in night-to-night scores, night-to-night standing racing. But I'll give the organization credit. Like the front office, the coaching staff have been all unified in one thing, and that is, Lauri Markkanen learning how to play with the ball with no momentum. Ochai Agbaji getting different opportunities. All of it has been about developing. If they could win in the meantime,
yes,
that was great. But the focus and the attention was on things for the future. And if they found a way to win in the meantime, that was terrific. They didn't win quite enough, but they won and gave us a fabulous season. And we have 2 more nights to enjoy them and remember this season.
Absolutely. And I thought at the beginning of the year, it was great. And I thought not only does it surprise us, I thought it surprised management there as well.
Yeah, I don't think we thought we were going to be 80 games into the season before we were eliminated from the playoffs. I think we can all agree on that. All right, who are your stars tonight, Ron?
Well, how about Kelly Olynyk, point guard Kelly Olynyk, there for sure. And I'm going to give the other one to Dunn.
Chris Dunn, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. Kelly Olynyk, 16 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists for the Jazz. No triple-double tonight for anyone involved.
I meant to look and see if that's Kelly Olynyk's season high in rebounds.
He had
And no,
13
it's
the
not.
other
He was
night.
one short.
What do you have,
15 is the season high.
How about Chris Dunn?
As far as what? Points or rebounds?
I don't know, either one. Assists?
Dunn is high in rebounds is 9. Assists is 10.
I guess neither. All right.
It's neither. Right.
Well, that guy's getting married. They're still here somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe they're off to,
Where'd they go?
well, Ron.
They're not married yet, David.
Oh, well, I guess that then depends on. Oh, no, they're like not together. She's over there taking pictures of other people shooting free throws. He's standing close to her like, hey, like I just gave you a ring. I'd like a little attention. That wraps us up. Have a good one.